Hi there, it's Jeroen from Salesflare, and today I'll walk you through the Insights dashboards. I'll explain what each insight means, how to look at your data on a team versus an individual level, and how to make the most of the available filters. At the top, you'll see two built-in dashboards. Revenue, which gives you a financial and sales metrics overview, and Team, which shows you team performance and activity. You can create more dashboards as well, but that will be covered in another video about custom dashboards and reports. On the right, you can change the time periods depending on what you're looking for and go back to any specific point in time. For instance, to see how things looked a couple of months ago or last quarter. There is also a custom option, useful if you have a different fiscal year or you want insights for a specific week or a handful of days. You can also switch between viewing the whole team, specific user groups, or individuals. User groups are created in Settings, Manage Your Team by clicking the plus sign, and once set up, you can filter both your insights and opportunities pages by them. For example, to compare how your sales team is in Asia versus in Europe, or how it's doing between different departments. You can also filter by pipeline or view insights across all pipelines together. Note that some reports, specifically the ones that report by stage, are not available when viewing insights across pipelines. Another thing to keep in mind throughout, every green or red arrow with a figure next to it is a comparison against the period immediately before the one you've selected. For instance, if you have a year selected, it compares with the previous year. If you have a month selected, it compares with the previous month. And if you want to export a dashboard, or if you want to export a report, you can print that full dashboard or download the report as an image just by clicking on the three-dot menu. I'll cover the other options you see in the menu in the other video about custom dashboards and reports. Let's start with the revenue dashboard now. At the top, you can see 5 scorecard reports. The first report, also called revenue, shows your total revenue for the selected period with the percentage change compared to the previous one. Average sales cycle is the average number of days it takes to close a deal, from the date an opportunity is created to the date it's closed as one. If you create an opportunity long after you started working on it, you can use the predefined field called start date to correct that value. By default, the start date is set to the creation date. Average value is the average value of a won deal, calculated as your total revenue divided by the number of won opportunities. The number of won opportunities simply counts how many deals you've closed as won in a specific period. And the number of new opportunities shows how many new opportunities were created in the period. After the scorecards, you'll find the full-size built-in reports. The expected revenue versus revenue goal chart shows your won revenue at the top left, what you've actually sold, while the black line represents your target, which you can set in Settings, Set Targets. Ideally, your expected revenue stays above your target throughout the year. You achieve that by keeping your pipeline full of good qualified deals. Expected revenue is calculated by multiplying the value in each stage by that stage's probability of closing an opportunity in that stage as one. A probability you can define in Settings, Configure Pipelines by editing the stages. So if you have 200,000 in your proposal made stage at a 50% probability, that counts as 100,000 toward expected revenue. And this is calculated and added up across every stage. If you're below target with your expected revenue, it is time now to generate more leads. The revenue during time period chart adjusts based on the period you've selected. Comparing month to month, quarter to quarter, or year to year, it breaks each period down further So a yearly view like this one splits into quarters, a monthly view into weeks, and so on. This gives you a clear sense of how you've performed in different parts of the period and how that compares to the equivalent parts of the previous periods. You can hover over either bar to see the exact date range and the revenue for that segment of the period. Top earning accounts totals all won opportunities per account and ranks them from highest revenue to lowest. Top lead sources appears when you've enabled the lead source field in settings customize fields and shows which sources are bringing in your opportunities. Top lost reasons shows your lost opportunities ranked by how often each reason comes up, expressed as a percentage. It's a great way to spot patterns and improve your sales process. The options for both the lead sources report and the lost reasons report can be customized in settings customize fields under the opportunity tab. Funnel analysis, finally, is a very interesting report. It visualizes how closed opportunities move through the pipeline during the selected period. The black numbers on the left show how many of these opportunities pass through each stage. The gray brackets show the average time spent in each stage. The percentages next to the arrows show conversion to the next stage, and the rightmost percentages show how many opportunities that reached each stage eventually made it to one. You can also have a monthly recurring revenue report here, but it appears only if you've enabled recurring revenue for a given pipeline, which you can do in settings configure pipelines by editing the pipeline using the pencil icon next to the pipeline name. This graph shows the total of all monthly subscriptions running during the period. But I recommend to only enable the recurring revenue option if you really sell subscriptions. Now let's have a look at the team dashboards. The first scorecard report, most active teammates, is calculated by adding up all activities, emails, phone calls, and meetings for each teammate. The most sold by teammate report shows who has won the most opportunities. Then there are 3 more scorecards with the average amount of sent emails, calls made, and meetings held across the whole team. Below this, the leaderboard versus quota report shows how each teammate is performing against their individual target, which you set in settings set targets per pipeline and per year. The black line represents each teammate's target for the period, the green line or red line shows what they actually closed, and the number to the right of their name shows the exact amount closed so far. The closing percentage per teammate shows what percentage of created opportunities each teammate closes, with the black line representing the team average and percentages showing the change relative to the previous period. Activity per teammate gives you a breakdown per teammate of tracked emails sent, phone calls logged, and meetings held. Slipping opportunities highlights open opportunities where there has been no interaction with the linked account for a while. For example, if the last interaction with someone at the Stripe account was 2 weeks ago and there's still an open opportunity tied to that account, it will show up here. Finally, closing percentage shows the overall distribution of closing percentages across your team. Some teammates closing more and some less, with the team average shown in black and the change from the previous period shown alongside it. Hover over any part of the chart to show how many teammates fall within that closing range. That's everything I wanted to cover on Insights today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on the chat. Thanks for watching.